Democrats and their media are on the attack, going after President-elect Trump's cabinet and top staff picks, including outrageous claims against our very own Pete Hegseth, who was up for defense secretary, as Trump's administration continues to take shape.
So let's get reaction from Sage Steele, the host of the Sage Steele Show, and she joins us now. Hey, Sage.
Hello. I am so glad to see you guys in person.
Glad to have you
making me wake up today. Glad to do it.
We're so happy you're here.
So it's almost hard to tailor a question, Sage. It's almost hard to narrow it in because the attacks have been so broad, so vile, whether or not they're at Pete or Tulsi or RFK. So maybe the question is, and you and I, and Rachel, for that matter, we've all worked in media, and maybe even at some of these institutions who are lobbying some of these attacks. What do you take from their reaction to Trump's nominations to his cabinet?
Disappointment, but not surprised.
Yeah.
You know, pretty classless. It's one thing to say I disagree and give valid reasons why, maybe examples, but to me it's just completely personal. But again, I'm not surprised. I think at the end of the day, they have to understand what has led us to this point. And it's been, what, 11 days since the election? Because the only reason we're in this position is because of what they did and did not do over the last 3.5, 4 years. And so you knew that if Trump won, and then of course he did, by a margin that I don't think any of us expect that? I did not expect it to be nearly as dominating as it was. We know Donald Trump, and he's going to get his people in there, mainly because he has to fix what they did and did not do over the last 4 years. And I actually love this because he's been very candid. When he was on Rogan, that was one of my favorite things. When asked, what could I have done differently my first term, unlike Kamala Harris's answer, he said, you know what? I really don't think I did a good job maybe vetting everybody and bringing the right people in and waiting too long to fire people as well. And this time, he's vetting. He's had a lot of time, several years, to think about who he would put in there. And I love the picks. I say, let's go.
Yeah, like rip out the roots, rip out the corruption. And you're so right. It's such a reaction. This mandate that he got, as you said, I expected him to win. I didn't know he'd win by that much.
Right.
But it is a reaction to COVID, corruption, to all the things that we've seen, the censorship, the big tech censorship. All of this stuff is part of it. And, you know, I didn't know all these years that I've been with Pete Hegseth on the couch that he was a white supremacist.
I know.
Who would have known? Who would have known?
I know, but again, just so narrow-minded and idiotic for them to say that, because actually, that's one of the reasons why they lost the election.
Yes.
It's because of the hate, because of the name-calling, because you say everybody's I've been called a racist by these people, guys, which I think is fascinating, and a misogynist. Again, it's just
Me too, and they actually said they wanted that I should be deported.
I cannot. But that's one of the reasons why they lost the election, because it has nothing to do with, I mean, they didn't even know what policy she stood for, right? But they sat there and they called everybody names that it was lies. Yeah. I know a lot of these people. I've been around a lot of these people. There are no racists. You can have a difference of opinion and not resort to that. And I think that they're idiots at this point for continuing to do exactly what lost them this election.